Okay, so today we are going to start with a chest and biceps workout, and I want to make sure that I iterate this to everybody, because last time I forgot to mention that before you do anything, you need to start with your warm-ups. I've already warmed up because I didn't feel the need to have you guys watch me do a 45-pound quick set real quick. But make sure that you warm up and stretch. See, I do cardio before my workout as well, so I'm all stretched out and ready to go. Now, today we're gonna start with a just simple dumbbell bench. I'm gonna go pretty heavy today. I'm gonna start with 105s, sets of 10, but I want you to watch the movement and how fluid it is and how far to go down, etc. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this. Just your basic dumbbell chest press, bench press, but a lot of people, you know, like I said, they call it basic, but there's more to it because the movements have to be nice and fluid. So let's go ahead and get started. Start with 105s and kind of move our way up. So here we go. Up. Make sure you're breathing the whole time. Down and up. That is your basic chest press dumbbells. And I just want everybody to make sure that they start at the right weights and don't try to go too high, too fast. I'm used to this now, so this is kind of where I start, but you know, I've worked my way up to this. So find the right weight that's perfect for you and then go with it from there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bump it up to 110s for a set of 10. So it's important as you go up, like I said before, you always have to make sure to try to keep your movement nice and fluid. And if you're unable to, then you shouldn't go up in the weight anymore and stick with where you're at, because it's quality over quantity every single time. And like I said, it's taken me a long time to get up to this kind of weight. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Make sure that you're breathing at all times. A lot of times when you get into heavier weights, you'll tend to hold your breath, and that is a major no-no when it comes to this. So let's just go ahead and rip this one off. It is heavier, yes, but I'm gonna try to keep my form as nice as possible. So here we go. And that is your dumbbell bench press with sets of 10 for 110 pounds. Okay, so moving forward, we're gonna go right into a bicep. I like to alternate chest and biceps back and forth after doing a really heavy chest exercise like we just did. So what I'm gonna do and show you now is a hammer curl, but we're gonna do it in inverted style. So what I mean by that is, instead of a straight hammer curl where we're just coming straight up like this, I do them at the side, so it's like a 45-degree angle hammer curl. So we're coming up like this because I really like to hit the bicep at different angles, because you're constantly hitting it the same way on a lot of the movement. So once we hit it at a different way, it really gives you a nice, you know, form here on your bicep, a nice little more circular shape, which is obviously what we're after. So I'm gonna start with 35s, and it's gonna be pretty heavy because of the necessity to have perfect form here. So I just want you to watch the movements, start low, and make sure that you're breathing the entire time. So here we go. It's up and all the way down. Up, all the way down. And when you get up, really get a nice squeeze up, and see how the movement's nice and controlled the whole time. We're gonna do sets of 10 here. It's just that nice inverted style of hammer curl. And 10. And that is the movement. It's a very good exercise. It's one you don't see often, and it's nice to mix things up. So that's your inverted side hammer curl. Okay, so now what I'm gonna show you is a dumbbell overhead chest press. Now, this is one that is a little different. A lot of you probably have seen it, and a lot of you probably haven't seen it. People that have been in the gym often, I'm sure you've seen it. It's not anything new to you. But You have to be very careful with this one, as you'll see as I'm doing it. You have to make sure you have a weight that you can control, because of the movement here is coming right over your face, and this can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. As long as you know what you're doing, it's completely fine. So I'm gonna start with a 100-pound dumbbell. Do not start there if you're not, you know, up to that weight, or you're not an experienced lifter. You need to start very low and work your way up. And you'll see by the movement here what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna step by step walk you through how to do this. So you find yourself a bench like this, okay? And you're gonna come to the side of it. So as I sit to the side like this, I'm nice and firm here right now, but then you walk your way out with your back against it. Now arch up, just like this. Now, you're going to reach over and grab the dumbbell and securely lock your hands underneath like this. Pull up just like this. We're gonna go all the way back and up. Make sure that you're using your chest to pull the weight up. It's a nice deep pull and a nice fluid movement. 9, 10. You never, ever, ever want to rush that movement, okay? You want to do it nice and controlled as I just did it, and make sure that you have the right weight. You do not want to go too high too quickly on that. So that's your dumbbell overhead chest press. Okay, so we're on the cables now, which I'm a very big fan of, especially on chest and biceps. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do some straight arm chest raises. Now, keep your arms as straight as you can. There's gonna be a little bit of bend there, obviously, but the key here is once you get up to the top is to get that nice squeeze in and come down nice and controlled. So you gotta make sure that you find the right weight for you, that you can do the proper form and technique, or else you're just wasting your time trying to do too much weight. I see people jerking around with their backs and everything. The important thing here is the quality, like I said, over the quantity. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you, how to go ahead and do this. So we're gonna grip each side. Make sure you're standing up nice and straight. Okay, now the key here is when you come up, nice squeeze and down. Nice controlled movement. Make sure you're breathing. I'm breathing as I talk right through my nose. So squeeze up, and it does get very heavy, and you will feel it, especially the slower down that you move. But that's what you want. You want that burn. You want to shape your pecs as nice as possible. And once you get to that 9th and 10th rep, it burns. But that's the kind of burn we want. And that is your straight armed chest press, nice fluid movement. Okay, so moving forward, still on the cables, one of my favorite bicep shaping workouts. This is awesome, but I'm telling you right now, there is a lot of people that make errors on this one. There's no room for mistake on your form here, because if you do, it's completely pointless. So what I'm gonna do here is your normal cable grips up like this. Now, you wanna make sure that when you come in, you keep your arms steady. Don't bend your arms this and that way, or let your elbows move. They need to stay up to the 90-degree angle and back down. They should not move whatsoever, and you'll see that's why it's imperative that you don't try to do too much at once. You need to make sure that you've got the right weight for your form. Once again, I've done these so long that I've got a nice weight here, 60s and 70s. That's gonna be really heavy for some people, especially if you're just starting on this. If not, it might not be. But the form on this form is important on anything, but this even more so. Otherwise, it's a completely wasted movement. So let's just go ahead, get your normal grips just like you do. Now, face forward, nice, straight, steady. In, squeeze, and out. Squeeze, and out. And this is just killer for shaping your biceps. And you see how the elbows stay nice and fluid and they're not bouncing or moving? That's important. That's where you get all of the bend in your bicep and where you really get that nice pull. 10. And that's exactly how you have to do it on the form. and that's the movement. So just make sure that the movement is everything. And that is your basic bicep cable movement, top to side. Okay, so you probably recognize this machine. Many of you do. This is the hammer strength isolateral bench, but I'm gonna do it with a lot different movement here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, instead of doing your normal, bench on it, we're gonna really attack the outside portion of your pecs here. And what I wanna do is we're gonna sit, and these are gonna be one armed. We're gonna sit at a 90-degree angle and push up and out. And you're gonna get this nice rounded shape of your pec. And it's just gonna add a lot of strength. The movements are key, and you're gonna have to drop your weights, obviously, and you'll know why as soon as you try it. So the key here is the fluid movement, the breathing, and the technique. So, and we're gonna alternate each side, so I'll show you each side. You wanna make sure that you've got a nice foot plant somewhere to where it's not gonna, throw you off base. Place your opposite hand here on the seat so that you're balanced and you're not falling. And then you're gonna go up and out and out. And you can feel the inside of your pec, and it's just attacking the inside of it. And it does get heavy, but you just gotta push through. For 10, whip around. Hit your left side, not too much break in between because you want to build muscular endurance while you're doing this. Hit that hand down, get your grip, up and out. Being that I'm right-handed, oftentimes the left feels a little heavier, but not too bad. That is your single arm, 90-degree angle, hammer strength, isolateral bench. Okay, so now we're gonna do what you would assume is just a basic barbell curl, but it's not. We're gonna do inverted barbell curls. These are really, really good to get that extra, pump and pull in your forearms on top of your biceps, and that way you're working them both. It's just a different movement, and it really elongates the muscle really nicely and really helps to shape it. So the key here is this. When you do a regular curl, obviously you don't want to move your back and you want your elbows in nice and tight. When you invert, obviously your elbows are going to kick out a touch, but you still want to keep them as tight as you possibly can. And it's a nice fluid movement down and all the way up. And when you come up, get that nice squeeze in there. I'm telling you, on the weights, don't try to go crazy heavy. I'm going to do 70s, okay? You got to work your way up because your form will be completely off and it's just completely worthless. Like I keep saying about every exercise, if your form is bad, your whole workout's bad. It's just like if your diet's bad, you're not going anywhere with your gains that you're going after. So you want to get a good grip on the bar, where you're even apart, not too far apart, but good enough. And it's just up all the way down. See how my elbows are nice and tight? They're not wailing all over the place. Breathe the entire time, keep that back nice and straight. You don't want to use your back to pull the weight up. It's all your biceps pulling this up. See how fluid the movement is? There's no bounce. Nice squeeze. And 10. And that is your standing inverted barbell curl. So we're gonna finish up here, and I always like to finish with something that's very difficult. And I'm telling you right now, this is where you make your money. This is the money set. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do straight barbell, curls like we were doing before, except these are called 21s. I'm sure some of you have heard of these. So what we're gonna do is a set of 21, but it's gonna be a little different. You're gonna start normal stance, but when you come up, you're only gonna come up halfway and down. You're gonna do 7 of those. After the 7th one, bring it all the way up. Then you're gonna go halfway and up 7 times. After those 7, then we're gonna drop and do full curls. So I'm sure you can tell, this is not easy. I have to drop the weight significantly to do, all 21 of these. I'm doing 55 right now. I don't know what to recommend to everybody because everybody's gonna be on a different level. I would definitely urge you to start a little lower and work your way up, especially, and I like to do these at the end, like I said, to get your money. because this is where you get the most gain, is pushing yourself at the end with something extremely difficult. And so let's just show you how it's done. I like to use on these, instead of the straight bar, I kind of like to use the inverted bar here. So you get a nice grip on it, and it seems to work better on 21s. So here we go, halfway. It's not a race. I see guys come out here and try to make it a race. You're just gonna have to suck it up and do it as it is. There's 7, so now we go up, halfway. And it's not so bad until you get to the full ones. So there's 7, take your breath. Now let's do your full ones. And this is where it starts to burn. This is, like I said, money time. And 21. And that is a great way to finish your workout, and those are 21s.